Hello my friends and welcome back to another video on my channel. We are here with a very special guest that today we're going to be doing track by track album 8 and some other questions thrown in there with Jake Serga.
What's up, Caleb? How are you?
I'm doing good. Like I said, it's crazy talking to you because it's like I can't believe this is happening. But here we go.
No, you deserve it, man. I see the comments. I see how invested you are, and I can't, like, somebody who cares that much and is that persistent is exactly who I want to be talking about this stuff with. So it's perfect.
I feel like I just want to say from the bottom of my heart before we start is that, you know, I have really bad social anxiety. You know, that's something I have, and I've just, you know, had those trauma memories come back, and I've like thrown on your music, and it changed my life, and it's helped me get through the days, and it still does, you know. So I just appreciate you for that, and I know like 3 other people too who enjoy your music, especially Tristan from the band From Embers to Ashes that he formed. He discovered you when you were put on Montage Rock in the Relentless era. He'd known you since Cannibal, and he appreciates you. He wanted me to tell you that up front. He appreciates you and what you do, so he told you to keep going, keep working.
Tell him I said hey.
Well, he'll see this video. He's my brother, so. So, the first thing we're gonna do is let's do an introduction of who you are, man. Say who you are. What do you do, man?
Man, I'm an awkward bald guy that writes some sad songs and some encouraging songs, and people seem to care about them, and it's exciting. And I'm very privileged, and I'm very lucky to get to do what I do. I think, you know, a lot of people know my story. Sometimes I don't know how to answer that question anymore because, you know, the beginning of this band is 8 years removed now, which is crazy. And so much has changed and so much has shifted, and I've grown so much. But I mean, long story short, I was admitted for psychiatric care and wrote a song about it, wrote a few songs about it, and that's all it was supposed to be. And people seem to really connect with the songs that I released, and the snowball rolled down the hill from there, and here we are, you know, touring nationally and playing all these shows. And excuse me, I'm on vacation with my 3-year-old, so I've been using my talking voice way too much today, as I'm sure you can imagine. But no, I'm just a really lucky guy that gets to do something that very few people in this life get to do, which is, you know, make music for a living. So I'm just grateful.
Yeah, and I respect you too, man. Like, I was watching the interview you did with S Future, and I noticed you mentioned me in it, and I'm like, mad respect, man. Like, you know, like that just makes me feel so like worthy of like, hey, I'm able to do this, you know. So that I appreciate you for. You know,
More.
mad respect, mad respect. So let's get right into it. The main attraction, what everybody's looking forward to, I assume, is album 8, Family Heirlooms. Can you tell me how this album came to be? How the title came to be? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there were seeds that were planted all over the place for that concept. I've thought about it a lot, obviously, in the work that I do. I work with people who are untangling years of family trauma, generational issues that have been passed down. At one point, Cooper asked me, you know, could we write a song about generational trauma? And I thought that was a cool idea. You know, after we wrote Icarus and released Icarus, I was in my first writing session post Icarus, and I remember just like feeling so burned out and just out of ideas. And I was like, I kind of wanted to cancel the session. And I was like, I got nothing. The tank is empty, you know. And it was a session with Kathy Sommers and Nina Ossoff, who I've written a few songs with. Thank You for Hating Me, Still Breathing, Irreplaceable. Love them. They get the band. They're awesome, very talented people. But I'm in that session, and I kind of was honest with Kathy and Nina. I was like, guys, I don't think I have it today. You know, I might need to lean on you a little bit. And Kathy was like, that's fine, that's fine. I have some hook ideas, some title ideas. Maybe that'll spur something. And so she started reading them. And she got to one where she was like, it ends with me. And I was like, stop. I was like, what's the vision there? And she talked about how she liked the idea of a song about generational trauma. And I was like, that's amazing. And I got my phone out and immediately just started typing up a verse. And I had a verse written in like 2 to 3 minutes. And the first lyrics of that song are, my therapist knows your name and cycles you're repeating, but you always deflect the blame, you're scared to see me healing. And the pre builds into that, you know, it says, I know the pain is in your DNA, your parents did what you do to me, but I'm running out of sympathy. I'm burning down the family tree, which is where the artwork comes in, right? This kid who's kind of looking at this bleak picture and saying, not me. You know, I'm not carrying on with this. I'm not letting this become a part of me in my future. And so we wrote that song, It Ends With Me. And what's funny is like, there was a moment in that session where I was like, oh, this could be like the title track, kind of like This Is Your Sign, right? And, but I couldn't let myself get too into that because I was like, no, like slow down. Like, I don't want to be in a box as I'm writing this record. I just want to write whatever I want, right? But that's what it ended up being. And, you know, we wrote 70 to 80 songs for this record and narrowed it down. You know, we went to a house down in southern Utah, which is like the desert, and just hung out and argued and argued and argued about these demos. And we were able to narrow them down to 18, which is, you know, Scarecrow, ICU territory. And we really didn't want to make another big album, but we just could not cut another song. We were like, man, like this is really hard to narrow it down even further. So we got it to 18 songs. And then when we were waiting for our block of time in January to actually record, I was looking at the track listing and I was like rearranging songs and I was like, wait a minute. Because I knew I wanted It Ends With Me to be the last song. And I knew that I wanted Figure Me Out to be the first song. And I was like, this is a story. Like, because these songs are very heavily driven by working with clients in therapy. That's not to say that every song was inspired by that, but more so than any record we've done. And so I was like, this, like every song in this album is like a part of trauma therapy or just therapy in general and the highs and lows of that journey. And I was like, I need to arrange this track listing to kind of make this a story. And so I made sure to do that. And that's what this album is. This album is about, you know, personal traumas and patterns that we inherit from our parents, from people who have hurt us. And, you know, it's the highs and lows of reprocessing through that and making a decision to not continue that hurt, that cycle of abuse, right? And it's so exciting because it's a concept record, but I still think if you like take any random song off of it and pull it out on its own, it's still insanely relatable to anyone, even to the people who come across this on TikTok and have no idea what the concept is for the album, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're excited about. Is it's a concept record, but it also is going to be an easy album to get people interested in listening to. So.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna relate to this album too, because I think it was grade 10. I was in a relationship, and it wasn't the best. It had its ups and downs. We broke up, and that traumatized me a lot. You know, that really internalized me. So I went to go see therapy for it, and I overcame it. And you know, like I also have argument trauma too, so that as well is just like part of that. I don't want to get too much into that. It's a little personal, but like basically that's what happened. And I know I'm going to relate to this record a lot.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope it's helpful.
I realize we only have 40 minutes on this call, so we might have to switch to Facebook.
No, we're good. We can rapid fire it. We can do track by track pretty quickly. I got
Sure.
you.
Because I'm planning to do some speedrun demos a bit too, if that's okay. A little.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay. Chapter 1, Figure Me Out.
Rapid fire response. One of my favorites. Definitely my favorite to sing and track vocally. The perfect way to set the tone for the record. Just being completely lost in that journey of self-discovery, and just feeling like you've seen every therapist, you've tried all the medicines, you're trying to do all the right things, and you just keep hitting dead ends and just feeling trapped in that, not knowing how to figure yourself out is an insanely lonely place to be. And it's an incredibly discouraging feeling to feel like, I'm doing the right things, I'm going through the proper channels, and the harder I try, the more overwhelmed I get, right? And so, big rock song, great solo, great riff, fun breakdown. It was almost the first single, came very close. It didn't end up being that, but I think people will. That's like the song on the album that I'm like, I'd be shocked if anyone didn't like this song.
Right.
So,
Right. What is the first single off the album?
I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay. Okay.
It's a heavy one. I'll tell you that.
Do you want to reveal any lyrics off of Figure Me Out, or?
The verse 2 is really cool. Verse 2 is a lyric where it says, I'm gonna have to pull it up because I have so many lyrics in my brain, but I love verse 2 on that song. Verse 2, the lyric was, I'm out of specialists, send me an exorcist, because I've got a ghost in me that nobody else believes. Which I thought was a really cool lyric. The whole song, it goes on to say, my old perfectionist, programmed pessimist that's always whispering something so discouraging. So I think that lyrically this song really captures just the burnout of, man, like how many more doors do I have the energy to knock down? I feel like I've tried everything, and it's a turning point. Do you throw in the towel and lean into complacency, or do you keep pushing yourself? So excited about that one.
Excited to hear it. Chapter 2, The Liar.
Heavy, big orchestral moments. That song is all about telling somebody, like, stop asking me to ask for help and to reach out, because I can't. Like, I've been burned so many times that I'm not gonna beg for your attention. I'm not gonna beg for your help. Like, I want someone to care enough that they can see that I'm not okay, and I want them to chase me. I'm sick of chasing people. I want someone to care enough to not just ask if I'm okay, but realize I'm not, and like stop me.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
And so the hook is just, someone see through the liar in me. I'm tired of smiling through fire. Someone see through the liar. And really cool, big orchestral chorus and really fun riff. The bridge on this one especially is like, it's got a very cool kind of Kill Switch Engage-esque soft building bridge.
Oh yeah.
That's really powerful, but excited for that.
I love that band, by the way. They're so good.
I wrote The Liar with Kyle Purcell, our drummer, and I think it turned out awesome.
Chapter 3, I Believe You.
Hardest one to write lyrically. Wrote it for anyone who's been a victim of domestic violence, sexual abuse, things that are hard to talk about, things that are often not believed or minimized or judged. And, I've known for a long time that is a song that we need to write. We needed to write a song that was just saying something that for some people they've never heard before and they need to hear it. So that song is definitely for me the biggest gut punch on the album. Not necessarily because it has like the craziest like riff or like it's one of the more simple ones instrumentally, but it's one of those songs that just doesn't need much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So excited for that one.
Do you want to review any lyrics off that one?
I'm gonna wait and let people just soak it in because lyrically, like I think that song is a really big gut punch, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I'm really proud of it. It's one of the ones that I just kept to myself and wrote by myself because it's so clinically driven by my experiences that I kind of just wanted to drive the ship on that one. So super proud of that one too.
Chapter 4. This one, I've since looking at it, I've been like, what is this song? Like, just by the name of it, it sounds heavy. Bulletproof.
Instrumentally, it is very heavy. I'd say
Like Slipknot heavy, or
well, like Disturbed meets Knocked Loose kind of thing. I think it's still a rock song. It's not a metal song, but what's cool about it is it's not this like typical rock cliche of like I'm bulletproof, I can take on the world. Like I can't write that song anymore. I'm getting very burned out on that. But it's the only song I've ever written with my brother, which I was a really cool experience for me. He had this chorus hook written, just lyrics. He's a rapper, and he showed it to me. And basically, the hook is, you know, people say pain makes you strong. Well, if pain makes you strong, why do I feel so weak? You know, like, why doesn't it work for me? I should be bulletproof if pain makes you strong. And I was like, dude, this is genius. Like, this is like such a unique lens on such a generic song title. And I thought that was so cool. And so it's cool that like the lyrics are so vulnerable and sad, but the instrumental is so heavy and macho and big. And like, it's you know, I made the joke on the other interview that it's like the dude in the lifted truck with the the Oakleys. Like it's like the alpha male rock song, but it's like that's kind of the energy of it. Is like it's this false bravado, like it's this like mask of like trying to look like you have it together, but really you're like, man, like they say pain makes you strong, and if that's true, I should be indestructible, but I definitely don't feel that way. So that song is the most wild guitar song I think we've ever worked on as a band. The solos are just unhinged and fun. It's a fun ride.
I see. That's going to be very fun to hear. Can't wait to see how heavy it is. Like, especially if you're talking Knocked Loose, because holy crap, Knocked Loose is heavy. Like they're heavy.
In moments, it draws influence from them. I think I gotta be careful because then people are going to be expecting like the whole song to sound like these bands, so I have to like,
right. Okay, in moments. Okay, and that makes more sense. That makes more, okay, that makes more sense.
This is still a rock record, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited for that one too.
Well, you said it had stupid breakdowns in it, so.
It's got a crazy riff. It's got wild guitar solos. That's the thing that stands out from that song.
Chapter 5, Too Loud.
One of my favorites on the album. One of those ones that like every time we listen to it, people like we were just like walking around the Airbnb recording, and people were just always like, "Man, that might be the best one." Like that one's really great. That's another co-write with Kathy and Nina. I wrote it about my upbringing as a really anxious kid. As a kid, I was really anxious about things that no child should be worrying about. And I probably should have done more about it. I just like looking back realized that I had so much more anxiety than I realized, and
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
I still like the song is about the idea of like how many times I've tried to explain to my wife like I wish I could show you how loud it gets up here, and like how many different things I'm trying to figure out and store and organize at once, and it just gets so overwhelming that sometimes I just shut down and I can't do anything.
Like, you know, voices screaming in your head, basically. Like,
yeah, it gets, you know, for me, like my therapist one time told me, he's like, kind of like when you have too many apps open and you just start crashing, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly how it feels for me. It's just like overload.
You did reveal some lyrics from this song, right? I think on the Facebook post, I think I
might have. The song just opens up with this verse that just says, "I was born with worries loud as lions. Even as a kid, I couldn't kill the sirens." And it's a really Sonically, instrumentally, it very much lives in like a comfortable Citizen Soldier territory, but it's just a great song. Like it's the people who are looking for like the heaviest, most progressive songs on this record. This isn't that, but I think it's undeniable that it's just a great song, and we didn't want to try and do too much to it when we already felt like it was just special, and so we didn't want to add anything to the song that we felt like didn't make it a better version of itself or would become a distraction. But that might be like if you told me today Too Loud will be like the burden from this album, like the hit, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like that could very well be one of the big songs on this record.
I thought Burden was going to dethrone Would Anyone Care, and You Are Enough as well, but it didn't. Never even came close.
Well, it's close. It streams about.
Well, yeah, it's close, but like,
yeah, those are hard to top for sure.
the one I've been most intrigued for, I think, off this album, just from looking at it, Chapter 6, Dead Butterflies.
I wrote that with Johnny Andrews. Creepy, dark, children's choir.
Children's choir. Oh, that's chills down my spine.
I'd say Wired for Worthless meets Buried Alive meets Madhouse. Like a blend of those three, kind of that. That's one that just like, I don't know if it'll be the most popular on the album, but like I found myself just asking Kyle O'Dell, our producer, to pull it up and play it over and over because I just loved listening to it. I thought it was it's very cinematic, very dark.
Is it the 6-minute song on this record?
Nope.
You gotta tell me which one it is.
I will. We'll get to it.
Okay. I was really like looking through these as soon as it was posted. I'm like, what's the 6-minute one? I'm like, maybe it's Dead Butterflies. Like that would make sense, but okay. Yeah, I had a theory. I had something going. Anything you want to reveal off of Dead Butterflies? Any lyrics? I give it away.
I mean, the song's just about depression, but like, the imagery of it, I think, is so cool because it's talking about all those sensations. You know, the twitterpation, the excitement, the joys of life, the emotion, just all dying. Just turning into butterflies. Like people talk about, I feel butterflies. Like that's like the pinnacle of being like that's what it means to be alive, is to be able to have moments like that and feel that kind of excitement. And so, the song is about just emotional numbness and depression and just walking around with these dead insects inside of you and just kind of being dead inside. And so I think people will appreciate it for sure.
That's going to be interesting. Chapter 7, Feelings Aren't Forever.
One of my favorites, even though I don't think it'll be very popular, it's like it's kind of like, it reminds me of like Buried Alive meets 15 Minutes of Fame meets Caroline, like kind of a blend of some of our oldest songs. It has that old Citizen Soldier like string synth kind of effect on it. But that song, what's cool about it is that song is about EMDR therapy. It's about asking my clients to sit in front of me and bring up the most difficult emotions they've ever had to face in their lives. Traumatic memories and everything that comes with that. And so it's like me as a clinician reminding them like feelings aren't forever. Like you're going to get through this. There is another side, right? And I'm going to be with you. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to feel going there. And it's very much epic. Like it's an epic song because it captures that darkness, but then the chorus just opens up into this massive like Starset-esque cinematic world where like you're going from darkness to love and support to darkness to love and support. And the bridge, like lyrically, is like, you cannot mistake the references to EMDR therapy. Anyone who's been in it will hear that bridge and be like, oh my gosh, this is about EMDR. And so, again, another example of like my clinical lens as a therapist influencing the songs, But like, who can't relate to that idea of like, okay, feelings aren't forever. I got this. I can feel through this. I don't have to avoid it. Like, we all could use that. You know, a friend who's having a panic attack, this would be the perfect song to send to them. You know, so really, really excited. And I got to track a guitar solo for that song, which I don't get to often. So if you hate the guitar solo, don't tell me. There are two songs.
Man, I saw you. You literally were. I think it was like a year or two ago or something, where you posted on your story, the TikTok story, where you did a guitar solo. Like, should I use this riff for a song? And you were playing it, and I was like, he's good at guitar, man. Like.
Well, I used to be better. I appreciate that. I'm definitely not anywhere near Matt or Cooper. I'm sure as hell not anywhere near Kyle Odell, our producer, who's a guitar master, riff machine. But I got to do 2 solos on this album, which, and I got to do it on 2 of the songs that mean the most to me. So I'm excited about that.
If I'm not wrong, the next one is your favorite off this album, or you said it's one of your favorites. But it's Chapter 8, Better Off Broken.
Mine always, my favorite changes, but I can tell you when we did the like rating of the demos to decide which songs would be on the album, we were scoring them 1 to 10, right?
Right.
And this is the only song out of all 70 that got straight 10s from every band member, which is crazy because it's like the balladiest ballad we've ever done. It's just so...
Is it like Daughtry? Would you say Daughtry?
It's like Louis Capaldi meets... I'm trying to think of a female artist that... It's just so delicate, and what I love about it is the song is about a client going to therapy that does not want to go. Like the first verse says, feeling so anxious, I step in your office. I hear, how was your week? How do you feel? It's hard to be honest. All I can think about is shutting back down. What's wrong with me? I should be better by now.
Oh.
The verse is like...
That hit.
The verse is a back and forth between the therapist, and then, you know, the chorus is just the client saying, like, why is healing so hard? And then the hook is just, I'm so tired of tearing the traumas back open. Am I better off broken? You know, like, am I... And again, you got to think about the storyline, right? Like, feelings aren't forever. Me pushing clients to go to those dark emotions, and then the next chapter is, am I better off broken? Like, the burnout that comes from having to go to that dark place and just wanting to quit, right? Yeah. So I think, like, Better Off Broken, there was a moment when I was like afraid of, oh, I'm writing this from a client's perspective, going to therapy, is that too niche? Like, are people not going to be able to relate to that? But I don't care if that song's ever a hit, because I know someone is going to be listening to that song outside of their therapy appointment before, just sobbing. And like, that gives me goosebumps. Like, that is what I live for, is to like be that intimate part of somebody's life who's really struggling to piece it together. And so that's why that song has me so excited.
Right. Chapter 9, Sit in Your Shadows.
One of my favorites. I'm a sucker for a power ballad. Everyone knows that. I think people who have liked our songs, like Still Breathing, Burden, Say Goodbye, stuff kind of in that power ballad world, I think they'll love this song. I love this song because it talks about the importance of, you know, not trying to fix the people you love. You know, like when someone's in a dark place, being, you know, willing to say, hey, you know, I'm not here to give you a solution or try to fix this, but I'm willing to sit in this dark place with you.
Right.
You know, and whenever you're out of it, or whenever you feel good enough to get up and keep going, I'll be here. You know, and sometimes that's what people need.
That feels like the burden on this record. To me personally,
we'll see.
I definitely relate to Burden as like God talking to me. I do. And same thing with this one probably. And it's like, that's awesome. You know, that's like, hey, I have that feeling, you know? And it's like, so that's going to be fun.
This is the other one that I got to do a guitar solo in, which is fun. And I got to draw from some uh, influences that I don't normally get to. I grew up listening to a band called Safety Suit that I love. They should have more listeners. Great band, great songs, more in the pop rock world, like more in that kind of Daughtry-ish world that we talked about. But
Right.
yeah, it's cool because like I have guitar solos on this album, Cooper does, Kyle does, and Matt does. And so it'll be fun to have
Basically
people.
just everyone, you know.
Well, Kyle Odell, the
Right.
producer.
Okay, Kyle, yeah.
So it's going to be cool for people to kind of hear the different styles and but it's still all it's very Citizen Soldier for sure.
Is the chorus still the same as the old
Oh,
demo?
no, it's way better. It's way better. I mean, the old chorus, I think it just starts with "I'll sit in your
I'll
shadows."
souse with you, I will wear every scar, every bruise.
Yeah, I mean, I
Hold you for all the abuse, right?
it's hard because I know that fans who have heard that demo and love it, they're going to be very married to it, attached to it, like I was. And like as a writer, it's when you get stuck on something, it's very easy to like not be open to ideas that are better. But I definitely think we beat it. I totally rewrote the song. The chorus is very different. So anyone who loves the demo, I would just say it definitely has a very similar feel. Give yourself time to sit with it before you judge it. Because I think, you know, anyone who's listened to the demo is going to kind of want to hear the demo. I definitely think we beat it. I think we outwrote it. Because I was sitting with the demo and I just kind of felt like this feels kind of easy. This feels like the obvious way to write this song. It feels not lazy, but just predictable. And so I think we made it a little more
Do you want to tell me? Yeah. Do you want to tell me the lyrics in the chorus? How it changed?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the chorus lyrics are, "I'll never ever try to fix you. I'm never ever gonna quit you. Anytime that your sun won't shine through, I will sit in your shadows with you. I'll never judge you for your problems, even if you never ever solve them. Even when there's not a thing we can do, I will sit in your shadows with you."
Wow. Mad respect.
We wanted to lean less into the like, I'll sit with like all the abuse and all the scars and all this. Like wanted to be more like, I'm not here to fix you, man. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna disappear. I'm not gonna judge you. Even if you never figure it out, I'm just here. Like that's what I wanted to lead into, you know?
Right. Sounds interesting. Can't wait to hear it. I remember showing my grandpa this album art cover, and I was like, "What title interests you the most?" And this is the next one. It's chapter 10, life support. That's what he said. It was like life support, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll show you when that one comes out."
Thank You for Hating Me meets Everybody Hates You, I think is what the song is like. This is the sarcastic, funny,
So it's self-deprecation.
very much so. It's very unhinged, kind of like Let Down on the Icarus record. It's very,
Right.
but this one is a little more like it's very swaggy. It's very fun. It's very catchy. It's got a great guitar lick hook. I mean, the verse starts out and it says, "I don't look both ways when I'm walking through traffic. Got a death wish, but she's a little bit passive. But I don't tell anyone because shutting down's so attractive. I'm a little messed up." You know,
Yeah.
it's very like tongue in cheek. I mean, the bridge is, "Oh no, I'm a dumb dark joke that's dying way too slow." I mean, it's just so. And anyone who knows me, like we were working on that song, and people were just kind of rolling their eyes, and they're just like, "This is the most Jake song ever." Like anyone who knows my sense of humor,
Just
and
like from you telling me that, it sounds like it's gonna be catchy.
it's fun, you know. It's like not everything has to be like. I'm the first person to call out when people lean into the self-deprecation too much, like that. It can be unhealthy and it can be a deflection from talking about how we actually feel. But a little bit of it can be, you know, it could be helpful in moments, and I think that that's why it's one song on the record and not 3 or 4, right? And that
Right.
kind of.
Yeah. All right.
But it's fun, man. It's Juanita has a little bass solo in that song, something we've never done.
Wow.
It's a pretty quick, brief moment, but it's just groovy and fun. And I think that song live would truck. So, and the children's choirs in that one as well, which
Yeah,
is
the
fun.
children's choir. Um, the next one I believe you said was the one that hit the hardest for you, and it's Chapter 11, Inner-Critic.
Yeah, that song. Um, that song, what stands out to me about that song is like most songs I write either in sessions or like at the piano. And this song, I was on a walk and I just started like singing something to myself. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just kind of like kept writing it in my head and like singing stuff out loud and like writing down lyrics in my phone. Like just walking around Utah County where I live, just like looking like a psycho, just talking to myself. Um, and didn't think anything of it. And then it ended up being, this is another song where people, as we were listening to it, were like, wow, this might be like the best one on the record.
Right.
Like it's one that we thought about as the first single. But, it's just about this idea that, people can tell us how great we are and how much they love us. And sometimes we just are incapable of giving ourselves that same kind of grace. Right.
Right.
But what I like about this is I'm trying to push myself out of my songwriter box. And the term inner critic is not used in the chorus once, which is, it's very easy to do that, right? Like the chorus like starts with the hook or it ends with the hook. But this song, inner critic, is talked about in the verses, and then the chorus is just totally different. But this song has lyrically, it's my favorite Citizen Soldier bridge of all time, I think.
My favorite bridge from you guys is easily Alone with Myself. I love how it shifts from that. I just love that. Just
That's awesome.
especially in my favorite breakdown from you guys is probably Good Enough for God. I just love the build up, the scream, the like, am I a failure? It's just like, you know, like that. I feel that song, right? I think I
Oh, I
commented.
did.
I commented to tell you to write a song about religious trauma. I believe so. I did,
Mhm.
and then you did it, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, the song's about me. Like, come on.
I'm glad you like it, man. Yeah, I love this bridge. Like, I think the bridge captures things about me that I've been trying to make sense of for most of my adult life. And I think a lot of people will relate. But this song is definitely the too close to home song. Like Kyle Odell too, he struggles with a lot of the same stuff I struggle with, the imposter syndrome, and he was like, yeah, this isn't one that I'll be listening to often. And I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. It's
is
a
is it
tough.
is it heavy?
It's rock heavy. It has a great riff, but you don't hear the riff until after the first chorus, which I also think is cool.
Right.
Um, it's like um,
Do you
yeah.
think do you
Well,
think the bridge will dethrone Alone with Myself for me?
um, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think like I don't think it's my favorite because of like the instrumental part, which I mean I still love it, but I think for me it's just purely like lyrically, it's my favorite bridge I've ever written
Right.
because it's
Do you
so
want to
perfect.
reveal the lyrics?
Um, yeah, I mean it's basically me talking about, why I'm so guarded and like narrative therapying that part of me. Like, what is this inner critic creature doing? Like, what does me being so guarded do to benefit it? Is it like this jealous friend that wants me all to itself? But, because I mean, I am so quick to shut people out because I had some traumatic experiences with rejection as a kid
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah. I feel that.
an adolescent too. And so I'm very quick to assume the worst in people and just cut them out quickly, immediately. And so the bridge says, master of deception, clouding my perception, changing all my chemistry, repurposing rejection into the perfect weapon to keep me living anxiously. assuming bad intentions, so I'll keep second guessing till everyone's the enemy. There's never a connection that it will never threaten, because it wants all of me. So just this idea that, like, you know, it wants me for itself. You know, it's like, we're safe here, we don't get hurt here, just keep them at an arm's distance. You know, it's like this abusive relationship where they don't want anyone else to get close because, you know, you might figure out that you're actually worthy of love. You know, so love that song. Super.
Something I do want to throw in is I've known you since the Scarecrow era, probably 2022. Forgot to say this at the beginning. Known you since then. I remember when my brother showed me the first song, and I was like, okay, these guys are good. I didn't really get into you, but as soon as I heard Save Your Story, as soon as I heard that teaser, man, just the whole perspective. And I love that song. I love the ending too. Just that, you know, just that you feel that.
Uh-huh.
Is there any like riffs like that, like in Save Your Story, like get that heavy in this album? Like something similar to it.
I mean, I think I've said this is our heaviest album, and I have to be careful because I know the second I say that, everyone starts like freaking out the second we have a song on it that's not heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you have to be careful with the way you hype things. But like as far as guitars are concerned, I do think this is our heaviest record, top to bottom. It's a very riff-heavy record, very breakdown-heavy record. Secondhand Scars has a nasty riff. Dead Butterflies has a nasty riff.
Oh, that's the next song that we're going to talk about.
Other Side of Pain has a filthy riff. It's like a Metallica kind of marching-esque riff. It Ends With Me has a nasty riff. Bulletproof we talked about. I mean, The Liar has a heavy riff.
That is definitely different than you have a heavy song as the last song. That I did not expect.
Yeah, absolutely heavy.
So, Chapter 12, Secondhand Scars.
That one...
Had 16 in his first game.
Sorry, this game that I had paused started playing.
That's fine.
Get ready for the Jazz-Lakers game tonight. So, Secondhand Scars is a really cool one. It's one that caught us off guard because we just kind of took for granted how well written it is and how hooky it is. And then when we recorded it, we were really blown away by how well it translated. That song is really special because we write so many songs that are about helping people that we don't talk about like caregiver burnout.
Right.
We talk about like, it's okay to have boundaries and you can't save everyone. Like it's not your responsibility to save everyone. And the song is about like, from the perspective of like a parent or a friend being like, I love you, but like being on this roller coaster with you of your destructive choices and your addictions or your traumas or whatever, like it's like I'm drowning with you, you know, like the hook is, you know, this crutch is falling apart, I can't wear your secondhand scars. You know, it's like I love you, but I need space, I need to have boundaries with this or it's going to consume me with you. And it's kind of like Afterlife meets Caroline. Right. From the first EP. It's like a dark and heavy one, and it has a great breakdown. I got to write that riff. That was the one I got to do, which I've never been able to do a breakdown for us, which was fun. Really, really fun, emotional song. We did some cool like spoken word moments, kind of like an Afterlife. And it wasn't like, oh, we need a song that's like Afterlife on this record at all. I thought it was a cool way to have like a poetic moment on the record. But I think anyone who's like struggled with compassion fatigue will love this. Like again, this isn't the song that's going to be in our top 10. It's a little bit more niche, but for someone who's been through this or is in this, it's going to just like, it'll be their favorite song. So I think they'll love it.
Chapter 13, Better Than I Used to Be.
Just about everyone in the band feels like that's the best song on the record. Matt told me when we were listening back to it, he's like, "This is the best song you've ever written." So some strong feelings about this song. It's like big and emotional and uplifting, but it has like pop punk elements and like a pop punk riff, and it's fun. Like it's such a weird song, but it works. You know, it's just a very unique addition to our arsenal, but it still feels so familiar. And the message is just like the perfect song to wake up to and get you out of bed. You know, the whole concept is like, I got all these issues, I got all these things over my head that are, you know, I got so much to work on, but I'm a little bit better than I used to be. And that's enough. You know,
Right.
like I don't need to change everything. As long as I'm growing, that's enough. Right?
Right.
Like I tell my clients this in therapy, like it's so easy to just keep running head down towards the work and never like stop along the trail and look back and be like, look at all the ground we've covered. Look at all this growth. If you're not doing that, what's the freaking point?
Right.
Right? Like if we're not going to celebrate the wins, even if they're small wins, then why are we doing this? You know, like the whole point of this is to enjoy the successes. That's what that song is focused on.
I can't wait to hear all of them. I'll be real with you.
I'm stoked for the I think I will warn you because I know you like the heavy stuff, and I'll warn anyone who's listening. A lot of the heavier stuff is towards the end. A lot of them are album tracks. So, like, you know,
Okay,
you're not gonna get,
that's fine.
you're not gonna get the heaviest songs and singles probably. There'll still be some heavy ones, but you're gonna have a lot of fun when the album releases, I guess you could say.
I do. I've reacted to every single song on my channel from you. So if you want to check that out, you can. And with these new ones, I definitely will. So
I will absolutely check them out. I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen all of them, but they're awesome.
yeah, some of my reactions were so genuine too. Like I couldn't believe like Good Enough for God or Alone with Myself or Wired for Worthless or like some of those reactions were so like, what the hell, like and Life Sentence too. Like for me personally, when it comes to Life Sentence, that's my favorite song from you guys because one, I know I'm probably never gonna get it again. Two, it's like a one-time thing. Three, just the heaviness, the screaming. You feel all the emotion in that. And when I reacted to that song, I was like, wow. Like, he's unhinged. He's become unhinged, right?
Well, the Good Enough for God one, that's the one I think I found you with. I think that was the first reaction I found. And yeah, you do awesome work, dude. You do a great job. You should be proud of it.
I am. I try putting out my own music too. You know, if you've seen that.
Or not. I'll have to check it out after we do the interview.
Yeah. I'm like my voice is not the best. It's not, and I don't still think it is. But trying, right? I'm just doing this for, you know, to me, I'm not trying to become a musician. You know what I mean? I want to become a welder. That's the goal. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a part-time thing. And I'm like, I created this project because of you. It's all because of you. You know what I mean? You know, it's all because of your band. You know, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done it. I'll be real with you.
I'm honored, and I want to remind you, like, Citizen Soldier was not, the goal was not, I'm going to get famous, I'm going to be a giant rock star. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to do this, like, passion project thing and then move on with my life, you know? So, you never know what could happen, you know?
No,
This was
man,
not...
you definitely changed my life. I'm saying that up front. You did. Your music has helped me for so much.
Well, I appreciate that a lot.
Especially, like, songs like Wanted. You know, when I'm walking to school, like, because I have a 30-minute walk to school, I just throw on CS, literally, just all the time. I just listen through those albums over and over. Like, today, I was listening to the Icarus, and I was like, yeah, man, I like, some of those songs, Letdown's my favorite bridge on that record. Burden is my favorite outro. So like you got those, and it's just it's so good. And I loved Kryptonite, you know, too. Kryptonite was awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm telling you right now up front, a fan gave it to me, and I didn't expect to get it, but it was nice of them to, and I have it on my phone now, and I'm just like, dude, this song, like that. When I heard that demo, like there's demos I want back, like that we're gonna talk about, but that was one of them I wanted to hear easily, and I'm like, it delivered. That bridge is so awesome. It really is.
I'm stoked that you like it, man. I really am. And yeah, I like that bridge too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that bridge is awesome, man. And then how it just transitions. I hope it comes to streaming platforms. I really do. Like, I need that one.
But I think it will someday. I think it will eventually.
Little off topic, but we'll keep going. Chapter 14. It doesn't get better.
Yeah.
I remember those two contradicted itself. I looked at that, I was like, better than I used to be. It doesn't get better. Like,
that's a fun one. And I did that intentionally because I knew it would raise some eyebrows, right? That song is one that I love the title because it sounds like the opposite of what Citizen Soldier stands for. You're like, what? Like, this is not what the band, what are they saying? And I kind of want to, I don't want to explain the hook because I think it's so clever and people are going to hear it and be like, oh, okay. That's what the title means. So I'm not going to ruin it. But this song is very soulful. It's very like deathbed meets victim or survivor, that kind of world. It lives in that kind of world. And Matt wrote the riff for it. It's an awesome riff. Super catchy, like kind of Nickelback world kind of riff.
Yeah.
And he does a solo in it that's like probably one of my favorite solos I've ever heard him do. He rocked it. It was awesome. So really fun, big stadium rock song.
Did we get to the 6-minute song, or is it coming? Or did we pass it?
We're not there yet.
Okay. Yeah, the fact you mentioned victim or survivor, I'm gonna say, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but it's like one of my least favorites, just because I never liked the woman's voice, to be honest, right? And it's not my style, you know. Like the fact that you've mentioned that now, I'm dying to hear the original versions of Fake Friends and Victim or Survivor. I so want to hear those originals so badly, like so badly.
Yeah. I mean, there's no sense in pretending to like something you don't. Like, not every song is for everybody.
Same thing, yeah. Like same thing goes with Bitter. I don't like that one that much, either.
Yeah, man. I mean, everyone has their, you know, I know some people love the ballady stuff and they don't care for the heavy stuff and vice versa. And I just think it's fun that, you know, people have songs from us that they like. And I'm lucky, I feel lucky that they even care that much, you know. So I'm just happy people care enough to listen at all.
Yeah, and, you know, I've commented so much saying, are you going to return Screams? Are you going to return Screams? And I'm like, I want it back so badly because I love that side of you, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I understand. You know, I understand what you're saying about, you know, I know it hurts your voice, or, you know, it's just not what Citizen Soldier is, or it feels forced. And I get it. I do. I understand. Right?
Well, and if it feels right in a song to have a moment like that, then I think we'll do it, you know?
Right? Like, I want it back, but, you know, I understand you. I'll get it when I can. I'll look at it like that. I'll get it once it's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll for sure have some heavy moments. So I wouldn't worry about that. You'll get those heavy moments for sure.
did we not get to the? Because he said there was a growly song on this record. Did we not get to it?
Uh, Secondhand Scars.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I just have so much to talk with you. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't talked to you one on one. I've always wanted to, and there's just so much. You know.
I'm glad we're doing it. Let's just get to the track listing, and then we can do your demo questions.
Yeah. I lost track. Chapter 15, Out of Your Gravity.
Awesome, fun, like pop rock. I say pop rock because it just has like very like catchy poppy melodies, but it's a pretty heavy song. But it's a rock song about leaving a narcissistic relationship where they make you feel so confused about your own perception of things, and they make it hard for you to even trust yourself. And the further that you get from that person, you're like, I'm starting to see things clearly now. Like, now that I'm out of your gravity, now that you don't have that pull over me, I'm starting to trust myself again and like myself again, and see that there's a whole life outside of being with you, you know?
I'm gonna relate to that a hell ton, man. That, especially like songs with Without You, Till Death Do Us Part, Say Goodbye, like those all I relate to, just because I said it earlier in this interview about how I experienced kind of like something like that. So this one's definitely going to be one of the most played, I say, off this album.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I think a lot of people will like this. Will be one they scream at the top of their lungs, really loud in the car. It's so fun to sing along to. It might be the catchiest chorus on the album. It's a really, really catchy chorus and post-chorus. So yeah, that's a fun one.
Well, Kryptonite was catchy too. I loved that chorus too. So.
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be like one of the days where I walk to school and I'm going to be just singing along to Out of Your Gravity. You know, that's going to be one of the ones.
You'll have to let me know if that happens. I'll be eager to hear, for sure.
We should definitely talk more. I do want to talk more.
Absolutely.
I'll send you an email or whatever and say, hey, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I wish I could clone myself. You know, it's the more I get to talk to people that I've met through this project, I wish I had more bandwidth, and I wish I had more time. And, you know, when I do have moments like this, when I'm able to connect, I think it's a blast. I love it.
I feel like now that you said you want to clone yourself, I mean, I understand that feeling, but at the same time, it's kind of scary, because it's like, I only want there to be one me. You know what I mean? If there's not one me, if I don't have one personality, one trait, one value, one skill, then I'm not myself. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think I meant it more so like, you know, I wish I just had more help being able to do all the things that I want to do and connect with all the people that I want to connect with. And, you know, there's only so much time in the day, you know, and as human beings, we're limited in how much we can do. So it can feel overwhelming at times, you know, trying to do all the things that you want to do. But yeah, it's a great song. I'm super excited for you to hear it. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Chapter 16, Worth It All.
Okay, Worth It All. One of the more familiar songs on the album, as far as like people who like this song isn't as much of like a progressive pushing boundaries type song. It's a very like familiar song for people who just love Citizen Soldier, which is okay. Like, not every song has to be this crazy experiment, right? And it's an acoustic ballad. It's a great one. It's another one where, like, I think the band kind of took it for granted because we were so excited about the stuff that was kind of weird and new. But, like, once we recorded it and listened back to it, we were all like, oh, wow. Like, there's no way that can be an album track. And, you know, it's... someone said it sounded a little Shinedown-y. One of my favorite bands growing up. Love them. Huge influence on me in my writing.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about that. Like, what bands influenced you, too? what bands influence you? I guess you said one of them.
Shinedown, Alter Bridge, Red. Um, 10 years.
Yeah,
Band
10 years. They're good.
Um, yeah, I love a lot of them, and a lot of new things now influence my writing. But this song kind of just leans into that, this message of, all these issues you've got. Like, yeah, you're screwed up. Yeah, you have baggage. Yeah, you come from a lot of problems, and you're worth all of it. Like you are as a person. Like the goodness inside of you is massively outweighs anything that you bring with you that's problematic or heavy, right? And like, who doesn't need to hear that from someone they love?
Right.
So I think that'll be a song kind of like Burden, where people will hopefully send that to each other, and I think it'll just be a good catalyst for a lot of connection and love.
Yeah, it's Starset too. I love Starset.
Yeah, great band. I kind of got into them after Citizen Soldier started, but they have some awesome stuff.
Especially their new stuff, man. Their new stuff is
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Right. The Other Side of Pain, Chapter 17.
That is the 6-minute song.
Alright.
Wild song. That song has guitar solos from both Cooper and Matt. So, really cool.
So,
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's like 2-part song, like basically like it has like
I mean, it still feels like one song. It just kind of like it has this journey of kind of being broken down to the studs before the bridge, where Cooper kind of has this bluesy, soulful moment, and that leads to Matt tracking this solo that mind-blowingly awesome. Like I walked out to get some food when they were tracking, and I came back and I was like, "Are you guys gonna do that solo?" And he was like, "It's done." And I was like, "What? Already?" And they played it back, and I was like, "You could not have tracked that solo even a few years ago." Like, he's put a lot of work.
Yeah, all of us improve.
Well, and he was already good. So I mean, he absolutely crushed it. Cooper did a great job as well, and just a really awesome song that I think kind of takes a unique angle on the suicide prevention topic, where it's not like this, like, you can do it, you can get to the other side of pain, but it's also not like this depressive, validating idea of like, man, I feel like I'm never going to get there. It's this kind of in between where it's like the song is very like stubborn. It's like, man, I've been through it, and I feel like it's not getting better, and I feel like I've done everything and things are not improving, but I have come too far to not get to the other side of this. Like, I did not come this far to just let go.
Right.
Right. And it's kind of like leaning into that stubbornness. Like, if you are struggling to be hopeful, or you're struggling to be optimistic, be stubborn. And so I think the song is kind of a unique take on that.
Right. So that brings us to the last track, the final track of the album, or should I say chapter 18. It Ends With Me.
Wild song, wild riff. We've talked about playing it live because this song would truck live. Just captures the whole message of the album. It's this emphatic statement of, healing's not black and white, and I still have work to do, but this is not going to continue with me. I'm turning over a new page. My life is going to look different now. Song has some filthy breakdowns. It has, really great vocal hooks, a great chorus, very sing-alongy. The ending of the song ends very bizarrely. It's you think the song's over, then it's not. I'll kind of leave it at that.
So it's like a hospital bed where you think it's over at that part, and then it's like you have that outro.
Yeah, kind of, but also different. You'll see. You'll have to wait and see.
Um, well, I have just a couple questions before we run into the speed run part. Um, what is when you scream? Like, if you're when you did scream in the songs, what was your technique?
Not great. I mean, I'm still learning that side of vocal work. Um, Most of what I do for recording and live stuff is just fry.
Right.
It's just screams to try and keep things very low pressure on my throat and focused on my diaphragm and just trying to make sure I'm getting that kind of crispiness out of the vocal without pushing too hard. So uh, it's all just fry technique stuff.
Are you a Slipknot fan?
Yes.
How much?
Not crazy. I kind of I was late to the party on that, but like I went through and listened to Iowa.
What's your favorite album from them?
I really like Iowa. I also think the self-titled is great, but I really like some of the new stuff too. I mean, I'm a songs guy, and so I like some songs off of everything, but you know, I'm a sucker for a ballad. So I think Snuff was the first song I heard from them, and it kind of got me down the rabbit hole. And I always gravitate more towards the stuff that's heavy, but also is melodic. I thought Unsainted was. I know it's not cool to like the single and to like the song. That's like.
I love that song, man. I love that song.
I was blown away by that song. You killed the saint in me.
How dare
like,
you murder me?
he said, yeah, I mean, there's some lyrics in that song, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. You know, and that's what you want from that genre is do you want to be able to like enjoy the brutality of it, but then slow down and peel back the layers and just be more in awe of what it's saying, you know?
Yeah, I was remembering, like, I was gonna ask the question, like, are you a gamer? And then I just remembered, the dude plays Mario Kart.
I'm not a cool gamer. I'm a lame gamer, so like I don't play like Call of Duty or these like new shooter games. It's not really my vibe. I love the old N64, SNES, the Sega system. I'm a
Right.
huge Nintendo nerd. I just downloaded I got my Switch Pass on my Switch, so I can like download like the 64 games that come with that and the SNES games and stuff. So like, I love all those old school platformers like Mario and Donkey Kong, and
Yeah.
I played Cuphead on the Switch. I think that might be one of my favorite platformers of all time. An incredible game. But yeah, I love all that stuff.
Yeah, especially with, like, Mario Maker 2 I've played. I remember and that was fun. I don't know if you know about this, but there's troll levels. You go through it and like trolls you, and those are fun. I've built my own, and I've been working on one for like 2 years now. I haven't touched it, and I haven't done anything with it, but I don't know where it's heading to. But I kind of gave up that.
Yeah, I love all those games. I think my favorite games on the Switch are probably Cuphead, Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong, Tropical Freeze. Most underrated game on that console.
I see.
And like, you know,
Yeah.
Mario Kart it is obviously great. I mean, there's so many great games on the Switch. Sunshine, Mario Sunshine is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Do you plan to cuss in any of your songs?
We do lots of dams and hells because I don't really consider them swear words. For me, like when you get to like the words beyond that, that's where I have to really weigh like, is this worth saying? Like, is this so necessary to say that it's worth maybe turning some people off to the song? And like that's at the end of the day, like what I want is to deeply impact people with my music, and I take pride in us being like family friendly, like something that parents, like shows that parents can bring their kids to and not worry about, me, screaming the F word up there. And I know that's not very metal of me, but I really don't care. I'm not trying to be a rock star. I just like making art that people care about and helping people feel connected to each other. So not really. I mean, there are moments in songs where we'll put something in there because it just feels like emotionally it's like accurate, but you'll never hear the F word in a Citizen Soldier song. I mean, I just don't care to do that.
I mean, I remember listening to Fake Friends, and I never expected it to swear the way it did. Like, that was one of the songs I was like, it has to swear. This one has to. It's gotta. You know what I mean?
I mean, that one, it just felt like it didn't feel forced to me. And I feel that, like, as like an artist and a person, I was like, they're real sweet to your face, but it's bullshit. Like I remember singing that and just being like, I feel this. I don't want to censor this. I just want to sing this, and if, people get turned off to Citizen Soldier because we say that in one song, then, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. But no, I take pride in us finding unique ways to express what we're trying to do. I think swearing can become a crutch and it can get lazy.
Right.
So,
believe it or not, when it comes to Fake Friends, I was listening to it and I just broke down. Because that song even though it's poppy, I broke down. Because I felt that song so much. Like, through life I was told I was a failure. I've been told that through my life. And that song to me is just like how people have treated me. And like, that's why I relate to it so much. I mean, sure, I feel like the bridge had more potential, in my opinion. But like, that's like a pop bridge, you know what I mean? I can live with that, you know what I mean? I can live with that, like, so that I really did enjoy.
What's next? Any more questions about demos? I know that was something that you
Yes, well, we're gonna move on to that. We're gonna speed run that the other guys didn't. We're gonna touch on the other songs that the other guys didn't do. I don't know. I don't know if you saw the Facebook post of me, but I posted a theory I had about Talk Me Down, and I don't know if it's correct or right or. So you remember the ballad version you came out with, right? I was thinking, well, the new one that came out had to have been turned into that, right? I feel like that had to have been turned into that.
Sort of. I mean, I have titles or ideas for songs that I'll try in different formats. So I'll be like, let's try this as a ballad. Let's try it as a heavier song. Let's try it as this. And then if one really stands out as cooler than the other, then I'll use it. So in some ways, yeah, but I kind of viewed them as separate ideas.
Yeah, I feel like that song is like, I guess, revived in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad the title got used because the ballad is very poignant and like collected, and I don't think that like fits. Like, I like that the version we did is more like manic and like, not manic, it's more like panicky.
Right.
It's like, I'm not safe right here. I need someone to, talk me out of this because I'm not in a place where good decisions are going to be made. Like, that's a place of panic.
Right.
I think it captured that pretty well.
And I can show you this, bro. I made it in construction class. I don't know if you saw the post, but I was like, I want to make this, and that's what I made.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's sick. Good job.
Yeah, just stand it like that. This is a reminder for what band helps me get through the day. So I keep it up on my shelf right here. So let's speedrun through demos now. First one is You Will Remember.
No plans. So if I'm like I'd never want to put that out, I'll say no. If there's no plan to, but I'm open to it, I'll say it's in limbo. And if we're planning to release it, I'll say yes.
Right.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm. Faceless Enemy.
No.
No. I love that demo. I'll just say that right now. Human Again.
Limbo.
I love that riff.
Me too. It's a sick one.
Trying to think. I don't know if it's called this, but I literally, no joke, literally downloaded all the demos on my phone. Look at that, all the demos, like the acoustic. Look, no joke, the acoustic album as well. All those teasers, all put them in there. There's a one for album 8, the old Saint Your Shadows. So you can tell how much I've adapted to you, bro. This proves it. That proves it. Impossible to Love.
Limbo.
Wasted Breath.
Limbo, but I really like the idea. That's the most likely so far to be used.
I don't know if this is the song title for it, because I was trying to figure out what the song title is. I don't know if it's Wanna Be Alive, if it's Crown of Thorns.
Oh, yeah. No, Limbo, there's no plan to use it, but I really liked that idea. I haven't thought about that in a long time. I'll have to go listen to it again.
Yeah. What is it called?
Crown of Thorns was the running title.
Right. Okay. Just looking through here. Eye of the Storm.
Limbo.
Gravity.
No.
I think, or There Is No Gravity, or was that the title? Okay. Hate Myself to Heaven.
Limbo, but that was a cool one too.
I want that one so much. Yeah, like, ever since you put out Good Enough for Gone and I discovered that, I was like, give me.
Hate Myself to Heaven's a little too hard for me to. That might be a tough one for me to put myself through, but we'll see. You never know. I'm a glutton for punishment, so we'll see.
You've made a monster.
Nah.
Nah.
Which sucks. It has some cool parts to it, but you can only release so many songs with Monster in the title as a rock band, you know?
Head Like a Hurricane.
Nope.
Wait, actually, now that I'm seeing it here, you said there was a song on this new record that was like, I'm Fine, I'm Lying. Which one was that?
Liar.
Right, okay. Living Miracle.
Nah. We did My Own Miracle, so probably not.
You'll Never Fix Me.
Nah.
And, who was the band that you gave Imaginary Friends to?
It didn't end up getting used.
C. Is
So
it
that one's
coming? It's a Limbo. You said it's Limbo. Okay. I see. I mean, I'll just keep going, because now I'm curious about all of them. If some of them changed. Invisible Scar.
Limbo. I like that idea a lot, but we have a lot of songs with scars in the title. So again, it's one of those things you want to be careful to not overdo.
Lifeless Eyes.
Nope.
I remember what you said about Home Again.
That one's in limbo for sure. But not against it, but no plans as of right now.
Hold On for a Little While.
My mom loves that idea. That's one that she bugs me about all the time. So that'll happen eventually. Because if my mom loves it, she's gonna get it at some point.
Backup Plan.
Limbo. I wrote that one with Josh Landry. I forgot about that one. That one's in limbo.
That one's relatable, especially the chorus. The more I give, the more I'm ghosted. Right?
Yeah. That's the home for sure.
Can't go back, but there's no vote. Guess nobody gives a damn. Welcome to the life of a backup plan. Beautiful War.
Limbo. That could be used. I could see it.
Core Belief.
Very possible. Limbo to yes. I really like that song.
And it's not really a demo, but any plans to release it could be Face-to-Face Acoustic.
Yep. That one's on the Acoustic Record. So that one will be coming out next year probably.
The Acoustic Record. Did the Acoustic Record change by any chance from what you've last said about it?
Nope.
So it's still 12 tracks?
Yep. There are acoustic versions of Face to Face, Weight of the World, and Let It Burn.
Let It Burn. I see. And then there's Bottom of the Ocean, Future You thing.
Yeah.
I'm Trying, if that's the title. I'm Trying. I'll Be Happy When.
Yep.
Little Moments, which I'm the most excited for.
Good one.
I want to know the lyrics to that bridge so badly. Like,
Little Moments.
yeah.
Don't hide inside your mind, because you can't get back time. Uncomfortable's worth the butterflies. When you dissociate, what you really escape is everything that it means to be alive. I think that's the bridge lyric. So basically it's talking about, every time you numb out, every time you check out, every time you, go this direction of numbness, you're just missing out on living.
Yeah. My Name is Shadow, which I'm excited for. I'm so happy that one came back. That one I relate to like a hell of a ton, especially the line, always the afterthought that's overlooked and misplaced, never in focus, the blurry picture people erase. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, why you gotta do this to me? Like, I'm so happy about that one.
Go ahead.
You want to reveal the bridge to that one?
Off the top of my head, I can't even. My Name is Shadow.
Because that one I was intrigued by as well.
The bridge is. My name is broken. My name is baggage. My name is goods that are way too damaged. My name is helpless. My name is shattered. My name is problems that never matter.
Yeah. One of Me? Is that the title? Is that on the acoustic record?
Only one. Yep, it is.
Only one. Okay, only one. Okay.
Only one and Resilient is also on the acoustic record. That's my favorite.
Resilient's really good. I like that. Really good at failing, comfortable with breaking, praying for persistency. I love that line, too. Somebody's Proud of You, which has done the best. Which, yeah. What was the line in that I'm thinking of? I gotta wait. Feels like fighting to the death. Yeah, I am. I'm just trying to figure out where that. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what's the line. I was trying to figure out what the line was. Cause they rather sugarcoat you than take a single step in those shoes.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
line.
Um,
I'm sorry if I played the audio of that, but
oh, you're fine. It's on TikTok. Yeah, no, I'm stoked on that one. I'm excited for that record too. So much music we're excited to put out. I'm so excited to hear what people think. I just have a few more minutes here before I gotta jump. Do you have like a last, like most important question you had on your list, or something that you wanted to ask me before we wrap up?
yeah. Are you teasing autobiography soon?
Yes, probably. Look. Probably in the next couple weeks.
And
I'll tease.
when do the next couple of weeks? When do the album A teasers start?
Probably next month is the plan.
Next
March.
month.
Because we're still getting the mixes back for that one.
Trying to think of anything else I want to say, or I mean, it's been great talking to you, man. This has been so fun doing it, going through that. Some of the things that we just completely talked about off topic, and some of the things I didn't expect to talk about in here. Do you want to reveal Somebody's Proud of You bridge?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's end with that. That's a good song. I'm excited for that one. Acoustic. My lyrics are not organized right now, so they're just all over the place.
And is the acoustic album coming next year, or is it? What's the plan?
I don't know yet. I know it's going to happen next year, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like. If it's going to be the only release, or if we're going to do a new album and release the acoustic in the first half of the year. I'm not sure yet. The bridge for that one is all the times your friends don't ever show and your parents say it's overblown. They'll dig you 6-foot holes, using the space to grow. All the times they only see your flaws and give you reasons for more camouflage. Just put 2 fingers up and live to call their bluff. Because you don't need to prove a damn thing. You decided you're enough when you lived when you wanted to die. You tried, kind of goes into the chorus.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate talking to you, man. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me. I'd love to do this for the acoustic album, track by track, if you want.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
Let's stay in touch and make it happen. I appreciate your time as well. I got to bounce, but again, thank you for everything you do to support us and the songs, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, do you have any questions for me?
No, man, I just appreciate you. Thank you for
that's
taking.
fine. Okay. That's fair. It's fair. Yeah.
You have a great night.
You have a great night too, man.